Hello and welcome back to Humans in Society. This video focuses on the topic Theories of Human Development, specifically Erik Erikson's theory of psychosocial development under the subject Personal Development. Before we begin, this is a disclaimer that the concepts discussed here are for educational purposes only and not to be used to diagnose yourself or other people. Seek professional help if you have actual concerns. Human development is a lifelong process. People change as they grow. It can be physical, mental, emotional, behavioral, social, or spiritual. Erik Erikson was a German psychologist who wrote several books on the stages of human development. He agreed with Sigmund Freud that early childhood experiences are important in human development. However, he stated that development does not stop when we reach adulthood, but continues throughout the end of our lives. In his psychosocial theory of development, Erikson stated that social factors are the focus of an individual's change, and these changes occur throughout life. A crisis marks the end of each stage, and a person must overcome this crisis in order to move to the next stage. Stage 1 is from birth to 1 year, and is also called trust versus mistrust. In this stage, children are figuring out if they can trust the world, and if the people around them will give them the support they need. The resolution to this issue or crisis will be determined by how their primary caregivers provide their basic needs and the consistency of support they provide when the child is in distress. A child who receives enough care and support will develop trust and become hopeful and optimistic about the world. A child who receives deprivation and inconsistent care becomes fearful of the world and develops trust issues. Stage 2, from birth to 3 years, is the autonomy versus shame and doubt stage. In this stage, children will decide if they can do things on their own and how much they should depend on others. A caregiver who is patient and supportive will help a child develop a sense of security and self-confidence. On the other hand, a caregiver who shows lack of confidence or overprotection towards their ward will cause a child to feel inadequate and be dependent on others. Stage 3, from 3 to 5 years, is known as the initiative versus guilt stage. The questions the child needs answered during this stage are, can I be independent? And am I good or bad? The child needs opportunities and encouragement to do different things to develop a sense of purpose. If a child is not given enough opportunities or receives negative feedback for their actions, they start to feel guilty and stop doing actions on their own. Stage 4, 6 to 11 years, is also known as the industry versus inferiority stage, when the child needs to learn competency and skills in their different areas of interest. The child needs good role models and good education and training to further develop their self-confidence and be hardworking. If they lack proper training, direction, or support, they develop a sense of inferiority. Before we continue, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for notifications. Comment below for topics you would like to be discussed in future videos. Stage 5, from 12 to 15 years, is the stage of identity versus identity diffusion. The adolescent needs answers to questions such as who am I? And what are my feelings, values, and beliefs? They need clear gender models, a sense of stability, and positive feedback to find their identity. Role confusion and identity crisis results from vague expectations, unclear feedback, and confusing purpose. Stage 6, from 19 to 40 years, is the intimacy versus isolation stage of early adulthood. The crisis during this stage is whether to get into a relationship or stay single. If people receive understanding, trust, and acceptance from potential partners, they are able to love and commit. Loneliness and depression comes from feeling excluded in their relationships. Stage 7, from 40 to 65 years, is the generativity versus stagnation stage of middle adulthood. The person is looking for their contribution to the world and wonders if they can produce something valuable or relevant. They need to experience productivity and a sense of purpose and enrichment. The lack of opportunities to prove their worth will make them feel unproductive and stagnant. Stage 8, from 65 years onwards, is the stage of integrity versus despair of late adulthood. This person asks if they have lived a full life and if they are contented with what they have achieved in life. They need a sense of closure and a clear attainment of their direction in order to feel complete and have a sense of achievement. The lack of closure causes dissatisfaction or despair over the life they have lived. These stages complete the cycle of life from birth to death. Each stage shows the main issue or crisis that the person must focus on during that period. A well-adjusted individual is able to face the crisis successfully through the help of the people around them, and that is why the development is called psychosocial. We close with this quote from the person who made the theory. Erik Erikson said, "The more you know yourself, the more patience you have for what you see in others." The ideas discussed in this video are based on the content standards of the Department of Education. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next lesson.